Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of September 6th. So we have some energy shifts happening this week. On the 9th, we have Mars going retrograde. Also on this day, we unlock and can tap in to the numerology code of 99, of course, being the 9th day of the 9th month. And 9 represents completion, endings, the culmination of a cycle. And it's interesting that this happens the same day Mars goes retrograde, because in a way, Mars retrograde is also the ending and the culmination of a cycle. As Mars starts to go direct, which will happen in November, we start a new cycle of Mars energy. So if you want to trace back and see what this Mars retrograde cycle is bringing to an end for you, you want to think back to what was unfolding in your life between June and August of 2018. That was the last time Mars was retrograde, and whatever was unfolding at that time will now be coming to a head, to a completion point. You'll feel that you've kind of come full circle from whatever was going on or whatever themes were present in your life at that time. And if you really want to dig a little bit deeper and you can remember this far back, we can also trace a bigger cycle which leads us back to around this time in 1988. So if you weren't alive, that doesn't apply to you. But if you can think back, if anything, any themes, if you can remember, were happening at that point in your life, we're also bringing an end to that cycle as well. It's a bigger cycle that's been playing out. That was the last time Mars was retrograde in the sign of Aries specifically. This retrograde that we have here in 2020 is also happening in the sign of Aries. So when Mars goes retrograde, I'm talking about this week, present time, what we can feel. It actually can intensify the energy of Mars. And Mars is our warrior planet, right? It gives us energy and motivation to push past our fears, to go for our goals, to go for our dreams. So that energy is there. It's there, it's alive, it's present for us. But the little added layer of the retrograde just asks that we move with patience. That we, actually not that we move with patience, that we become patient and wait for the right moment to take action. We need to be patient with our actions. We need to be patient with our words. We need to be patient with the world and those around us, because there can be this tendency to act from a place of hostility or aggression, or acting from a place of off balance when Mars goes retrograde. Of course, we can do this at any time, but it's just something to be more aware of under this energy. So it's not that you can't take action. You just want to be patient, be still, and make sure that that action is coming from a place of power, not from a place of fear or anger or something that you're going to regret later down the track. Mars retrograde with this Mars energy strong is a wonderful time to connect with our personal power and our personal strength, and to evoke a sense of trust, complete trust in oneself, complete trust in no matter what's happening around me, no matter what comes my way, I, Tanaz, or I, use your name, have the power, have the strength to get through it, to make it through. And it's kind of tuning in and connecting with that personal power. So yes, while Mars retrograde, we do have to be mindful of our actions. We have to tread with a little more caution. We have to be careful that we're not acting on an impulse that we may later regret. It is also really good energy for connecting with our personal power and shifting past fears that have kept us playing small and playing safe. Also, and this is sort of a bigger picture for the entire month of September, it's a good time to think about how we're choosing to spend our energy. How are we choosing to spend our energy? Do we like what we're spending our time on? Is what we're spending our time on giving us rewards, or is it putting us in energetic debt? So Mars retrograde is a good time to think about that, and you may start to find those thoughts and feelings organically coming to the surface as we enter into the retrograde energy this week. And it's kind of interesting because yes, while we do have Mars going retrograde this week, which will give us a total of, I think it's nearly 6 planets in retrograde this energy will not last because in the coming weeks and even this week on September 13th, we have Jupiter going direct. And later in the month, we'll have Saturn, and then shortly after that, in early October, we'll have Pluto. So all of these planets now are starting to go direct. They've all been retrograde since the first part of the year, and very slowly they're going to shift into direct motion, and we're going to start to see more of the story unfolding. More of, okay, yes, 2020 has brought us all these situations, all right. Now what? What's the next step? Where do we go from here? We're going to start seeing that momentum building a little bit as these planets start moving direct. So the first in the lineup of planets turning direct will be Jupiter. That happens at the end of this week, and we'll start to slowly see more pieces of the story being revealed to us. 2020 was always destined to be a highly transformative year. If you have been following me for a while, you will know, spoke about it at the beginning of the year. A lot of the alignments that we have seen take place this year historically have been linked to things like mass disease, government control, power struggles, change and revolution. So we have to kind of keep in mind the bigger picture energy that we are in a period of change. We are in a period of transformation. Sometimes the old, sometimes the things that no longer are serving us, that maybe we don't realize are no longer serving us, have to be brought up to the surface, destroyed in some way so they can be reborn. And that is sort of the energy of 2020. And as we get these planets starting to move direct and Mars retrograde, because Mars will be very much activating these planets, we're going to start to see more of the transformational cycle unfold. It's kind of like the next chapter of this transformative journey. And as we get into this next chapter, we may see themes revisited from earlier in the year, but we may also start to see more answers and more clarity. I'll also offer to you for this week, with Mars going retrograde, with Jupiter going direct, the energies are really guiding us to connect with our personal power, to get into a place of grounded alignment. And actually, I know it's not a very cool sounding word. In fact, I don't even like the sound of this word, but it's disciplined self-care. That's something that came through for me, and I'm going to pass it along for you guys too. It's like self-care, but in a sort of disciplined way. It's really making time to exercise, to look after your energy, to not allow yourself to get off balance, really being disciplined with your meditation practice. So disciplined self-care, this can really come in handy this week, especially because we can build up our reserves, we can build up our strength, we can build up our alignment, tune into our personal power while this Mars energy is nice and strong. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you all have a wonderful and very safe week. I am Tanaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.